We're going to be as fair and as impartial as possible in this comparison. This is Onyx, this is Remarkable. We have distribution for Onyx, we have distribution for Remarkable. We sell everything in the business. We sell Supernote, we sell Boyu, we sell everyone. We're pretty unbiased when it comes to these devices, so we're going to focus on what these can and cannot do. Let's get started. Starting off with the styluses, the Onyx stylus is actually all new. They changed it completely from the previous one. The previous generation was basically just this cheap plastic stylus. Now the new one is still plastic, but this one had a button on the side and a button on the back for reversing. The nib wasn't anything spectacular, but the nib has actually been improved on this one. You will see that it is more conical, meaning it's more pointed than the previous generation. It also has these nice design lines that run the length of the pen, and it has the book's logo at the back. It doesn't have any button at the back or the side, but it does snap to the side of the device, and it actually snaps to the side of the Remarkable as well. The Remarkable has more of a blunt nib, as you can see right here. It's less pointed than the Onyx, so it's a little less accurate. It does have a nice design feature running the length of the pen as well. There is no button or anything on this one. This one is coated in this very nice, interesting, gritty rubber. It's actually quite nice, and it offers a huge amount of grip. It snaps to both the Remarkable and the Onyx. This is the home screen on both of these devices. So the home screen on the Onyx is separated into 6 different segments: library, store, notes, storage, apps, and settings. Here's you'll find all your settings, your network settings, etc. This is where you're going to find all your apps. You do have the Google Play Store. You can sideload in any application you want on this device. You can sideload in your email application, your video application, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Kindle, anything on this. It also has onboard audio, so you can play audiobooks and you can listen to music and watch videos. Swiping the top down on the Onyx, you get Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, auto rotate. This does have a G sensor. You do have system-wide contrast, and you have 4 modes. The modes actually allow you to watch videos and do things like play games and have the lowest latency of pretty much any device with X mode. Basically, normal, speed, A2, and X is normal, fast, faster, and fastest. We'll show you in a little bit. The Onyx also has glow light on it. The Remarkable has no light whatsoever, so if you did need to turn on your glow light, you do have the ability to do so. You can actually turn on the warm lighting, the cool lighting, or a mixture of both to white balance your experience. You do have audio as well, so you can change your audio dial here, and you have some sound settings as well. So there's a lot of technological advantages on the Air so far. Now, unfortunately, the Remarkable doesn't have applications, doesn't have Google Play, doesn't have a glow light, doesn't have speakers either, so there's very few things we can actually compare as jumping from the Air to the Remarkable, but our home screen is very nice. We have My Files, Notebooks, PDFs, eBooks, and Favorites. There's no web browser on the Remarkable either, so you can't actually go on the internet and check your email or anything like that. Going over to the settings, you do have some things here. Handwriting conversion, we'll show you in a bit. Wi-Fi, account, power, storage, accessibility, tutorial, etc. It's pretty bare bones. You can't swipe down from the top because there's nothing there. There's nothing on the sides. The bottom doesn't bring up anything either, so it's a pretty bare bones experience, to say the least, on this so far. Clicking on ebooks, it's not so much that the Remarkable has an ebook reader, it just has the ability to run the ebook formats that we know. So for example, you can't do any long press or anything like that because there's no options for that. You basically do just get your sidebar that's the same in the note-taking and the PDF experience. The Onyx, on the other hand, actually does have full functionality with ebooks and EPUB and etc. different formats. You have the ability to take notes, you can copy, you can read aloud via TTS, that's text to speech, you can look up in dictionary. If you do go over to the keyboard, you can make your annotations like that. You can actually go over to the written annotations as well, and for example, if I write a P on the screen, P is going to show up the next thing in line. If I write an H is going to show up in the next thing in line as well. You can add that right there. So there's a lot of functionality on this reader versus the Remarkable because it just opens things up a little bit more. Checking out PDFs, you do have the ability to start writing right away on both of these because they're basically primarily using the note-taking experience overlaying this, but the Onyx actually has its own PDF software, and it actually has the ability to change contrast, display. You can see here you have pagination, zoom, crop, margins, orientation. You can change the sharpness, the image contrast, embolden. You can even reflow and wipe everything away and just have text on the entire screen. You also have the ability to long press. You can make notes and annotations, use keyboard, dictionary lookups, much like you can in your ebook experience, and you have the ability to pinch and zoom. You also have the ability to swipe the top down, go to your modes, and choose an incredibly fast mode like X mode. From there, things get very snappy, very quick, and your pinch and zooms get even quicker. You can see here it's almost tablet level refresh on e-ink, and that's just about as fast as you can possibly get on e-ink. On the Remarkable, you don't have the ability to pinch and zoom, you can't long press anything, and you can't install any other applications to change your PDF experience. You do have the ability to change pages by swiping or tapping. You can choose the zoom in logo here, and by doing that you can't even navigate around the page. You have to use the mini map to navigate, and there's no other modes to really speed it up because they don't have A2 mode or speed mode or anything like that, so it's a very choppy, slow, kind of sluggish experience on PDFs, and you do get that same palette on the side here that is used for note taking. The selections of pens and pencils are roughly the same. You do get 2 additional ones on the Remarkable than you do on the Onyx. You also actually get text on the Onyx as well, so you can go and click text. You can write what you want via the keyboard, via dictation, via handwriting. So I can write a big P on the screen, P will show up there. From there I can change the text via color, I can change the embolden, italicize, underline, etc. You don't get text on the Remarkable. Handwriting recognition is great on both of these. On the Remarkable, you click here and then convert to text and send. First you convert to text and it does it kind of okay. It does an extra couple dots here and there, so you got to be careful that there's no extra dots on your screen or else it's going to pick it up as something you've written. You can actually backlog and go back to other things. For example, I can go to layer 1, which was another page, and just click convert, and it should say layer number 1 on the screen, which is actually quite nice, and it shows an I instead of 1, but it needs some work, but it does have that ability to actually go back into the things you've already written and convert them from there. Onyx takes a different approach. They actually give you 2 ways to do handwriting recognition. They give you original recognition, in which case it changes it in a second. You can move this around from there. You can actually move these around by clicking them, and you can change all of the italicized, the bold, the underlines. You can add more things. It's pretty opened up for that. You can actually go back here and choose reflow recognition, in which case it'll push everything to the top left corner like so, and it will actually convert it from there. So from there you can continue your dictation, you can write more things, you can copy and paste and send to email, send to Facebook, upload to Twitter, etc. Let's give credit where credit is due. Remarkable started layers. All the other companies like Onyx and Supernote and all those other guys that are doing layers, they're doing it well, but Remarkable started the game. So you can see here we have our layers menu. Now it's weird because it says limit of 5 layers reached, but you can clearly see 8 layers in total, so I have no idea what that means at all. Now layers is very nice because if you see I do area selection, it looks like I'm going to erase everything, but it's actually only going to affect the layer I am working on. Same with Onyx. Onyx has layers here, 5 layers total, but there's 6 in total because of the base template. So I can go to one of my layers here, select my eraser tool like so, area eraser. I'm going to erase everything, but really it only affects the layer I'm on. Layers are a staple now in 2020 moving forward for note-taking e-ink devices. In terms of colors, the Onyx actually has far more colors, a total of 8 colors, 5 on screen and 3 off screen. And what I mean by that is black, dark gray, gray, light gray, and white show up on the screen during live because it's a black and white device. Red, green, and blue will show up after the fact when you export the document. Remarkable actually only has 3 colors. They don't have any additional colors in their palette wheel, as you can see right here. Onyx has a little bit of an advantage yet again with area selection. When you area select on the Onyx, it selects everything and you can rotate, you can make bigger or smaller, but you can actually change the aspect ratio, which basically means you can squish it, you can stretch it, and you can make it bigger or smaller respectively. The aspect ratio is not locked. You can also copy it to your clipboard, delete it, etc. On the Remarkable, as you swipe around like that, you can only change the actual size and the rotation. You can copy and cut it and then paste it all the same, but you can't actually make the item bigger or smaller. It just doesn't work properly. And when you move it around, it is a little bit more choppy. The Onyx is more fluid because it is just running a little bit more power under the hood. The Onyx also goes a step further with clip art. You can actually browse your device storage, add clip art, you can make it smaller, you can stretch it, you can rotate it, of course, move it around, copy, paste it, and then once you're good, you just tap out, go over to your favorite pen, and you can start drawing on it right away. So it's a good way of adding things. You can add these to any layer you want as well. If you go here to layers, it will show up that your clip art is on layer 1, for example. When the Remarkable 2 came out, it was amazing. It was ahead of the pack. But when the Onyx Boox Air came out, it absolutely destroyed the Remarkable. There is just simply too much that is good against the Remarkable that is on the Onyx Boox Air. It's not even close at this point. The Onyx Boox Air is faster, it has smaller overall dimensions, it has onboard audio, speakers, Wi-Fi that is usable, internet browser, audiobooks, more note-taking features, more colors, more functionality, better area select, clip art, Bluetooth, 2 different glow lights, 4 speed modes, you can watch videos, it has a cheaper replacement parts, it has a more accurate stylus, the overall device is cheaper, and it's from a company that has been in business 5 times longer than Remarkable. Remarkable has 2 units under their repertoire, and Onyx has about 30. There's absolutely nothing about the Remarkable that is better than the Onyx, and everything we have listed here is objectively completely true. These are facts, they're on paper specifications. The Onyx Boox Air is pretty much better than the Remarkable 2 in every conceivable way. In fact, in our testing, we actually found only one thing the Remarkable can do that the Onyx cannot, and that is tilt when it comes to the pencil feature. The Onyx can't do that, although it does have pressure sensitivity all the same, it can't do tilt. If you disagree with us, please write down below how you think the Remarkable 2 is better than the Onyx, and vice versa. For a comparison between the Onyx Boox Air and the Remarkable 2, this is Peter.